Good morning. I can see beautiful smiley faces and puppies and hands. I hope everyone's good. We had such a gorgeous morning and then just a little bit of rain. I kind of feel cheated because I actually went out and watered the garden this morning and now it's raining, so I'm like, damn it, but it's getting an extra soak, so I can't complain. I hope everyone's really good and feeling fresh and happy this midweek moment. It's halfway point in the week. It's a lovely time to practice, just to kind of check in with yourself during the process of the week. So, and that brings me to this week's kind of theme that I've been speaking to, which is about enjoying the process. And that's both on our mats and off our mats, enjoying the process rather than being goal orientated and kind of, we're taught everything in our society, I suppose, in our culture and our history has kind of always worked towards and pushed us towards these goals and achieving these end things. So we kind of are trained in that way. So it's really hard to unpick that conditioning and just enjoy each moment and enjoy the process of each day. And on our yoga mats, we can train ourselves to do a lot of things through the asana aspect that actually transfer really well down to our lives off the mat. And that's why we practice, by the way. That's why we meditate or we do yoga asana. It's not for the time that you're meditating. So this is something I always teach in my meditation trainings, is it's not just, you know, for your eyes closed, feeling all zen. The reason that you meditate is for your eyes open experience of life. And the reason that we are on our yoga mats is for our lives off the yoga mats, so that we can, you know, build that resilience and awaken ourselves to that perspective of, for today's theme, enjoying the process and being maybe a bit more aware of if we're living towards the weekend or we're living towards when we get released from our ISO prison, and just like pushing ahead and looking ahead. And on our yoga mats, I'll often say to you guys, are you here? Are you in the next pose? Are you here? Are you thinking, oh, I'm gonna reach my arm up now? And often it's because of the way we're conditioned. It's not our fault. We can be in that next moment. So it's about bringing it back into the present moment. And it gives us so much power when we do. So that's just my initial little blah. I have my pink rose as a little pop of color today because it's a bit gray. And we're going to start today lying on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. So it's just lying down initially. But I would say to you is, if anyone has a towel or cushions or anything that they want to bring to their practice today to support themselves, please do. And something that I'm going to do to begin today is I'm going to take my towel and I'm just going to roll it up into a little sausage. And this is only an option, but when we lie down in our Supta Baddha Konasana, it can be really nice to have this just at the lower back. So it brings a little extension into the shape. And by extension, I mean that the hips are slightly moving forward, and it's sometimes really, really nice. So that's just an option there for you. So lying back, our Supta Baddha Konasana, if anyone's like, what is she saying, that strange word, is lying down, relaxing for a moment, and then simply bringing the soles of your feet together and letting the knees come out to the side. Now, that little rolled up sausage underneath the lower back, you might have to position it up or down a little bit so that you get it in that position that feels good for you. And if it doesn't feel good, then don't do it. It's not a goal, it's not a challenge. And also, if you feel like the inner seams of your legs are quite sensitive, that this is straining a little bit, you might want to either get 2 cushions and place them underneath your thighs there, and the outer thighs, outer hips. And it just gives you a little bit of strength, a little bit of stability. So wherever you are today, you decide if the feet closer to you works, or maybe bringing the feet a little bit further away. Further away those feet go, the more that you ease off in that inner groin lengthening. So just take what you need. And for this morning's practice, I would like us all to come into a cactus shape of the arms, elbows out level with the shoulders, palms facing up. It's just a beautiful expressions. Sometimes very often. These physical expressions resonate far deeper into more emotional energies. So the arms, fingers, the hands, is an extension of the heart space. Let your fingertips be soft, palms facing open, receptive. And the back of the head is simply sinking down as if the ground is a soft earth, feeling like it's slightly imprinting beneath you. Maybe give your little toes a wriggle, a little playful wriggle, and then let them be still. I like to sometimes physically awaken an area to then send it to sleep. So maybe wriggle fingers as well, and then relax them. And these little actions just help us to really purposefully calm and quieten the physical body. And as that quietens, we'll use a little bit of focus on the breath to help just quieten down the beautiful brain that does what it does, thinking, chattering, problem solving. It's not a bad thing, it's what it's meant to do, but we just want to quieten it down a little bit for practice to union that body, mind, and breath, bringing a beautiful sense of harmony and connectedness. Closing down the eyes if they're not already closed. Breathing in through the nose, and softly out through the nose, without any effort yet, just allowing that your natural breath print to do its thing this morning, this Wednesday morning as we gather to purposefully check in. Feel with each breath, body softening a little bit more, accepting that we're here in stillness, surrendering to the ground below. And begin asking a question I always like to encourage you to ask at the start of your practice. How are you doing? How are you? How are you? It's only when we know ourselves as much as we can, and you know how you are, that you know maybe the processes and the habitual patterns of your life on a day-to-day basis, whether that process is best serving you or whether it's a process towards an end goal that might not necessarily be what actually sets your heart on fire. So just asking yourself a question and calmly and slowly breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. From here, you might feel a little fatigue or a little, maybe in the physical body, or maybe it's in the mind. You might feel a little impatience coming. When are you going to move? When's you going to get it going? Then I'm going to come back to that comfort of distraction and doing. Just try and be for a couple more breaths. And if it's really difficult today, just try and lengthen out your exhalations. Inhaling deep. And really softly controlling that exit of the air. Exhale out, controlling that air as it softly leaves the body. Lengthening it out a little bit longer on the exhale each time. And we'll just stay for 4 more breaths.
Relax your shoulders and perhaps notice this observation that we cultivate. Notice if the shoulders were kind of lifted a little bit. Just let them drop. Reach your hands down really tenderly. Take a hold of the outside of your thighs. And this is it's kind of playful. It's a bit of a test. Try and not awaken your legs. Try and just have your hands on your thighs. And use the arm strength to lift those heavy legs back up towards one another. Lovely. Placing the soles of the feet on the ground. So I'm reading a book set in the Deep South. So if I start talking like a Southern belle, often I start to take on characters that I'm reading. Just ignore me. We'll slowly start to rock the knees side to side, massaging the lower back. So really soft little movement. If I could really, I suppose, encourage one thing for all of my students is to be more tender and compassionate with themselves. So just not pushing. Now we can maybe bring it a little bit deeper, letting those knees maybe come all the way down or halfway down, side to side. Your arms would maybe reach overhead, taking hold of hands like a little halo around your head. And just really languidly, lazily, in the good sense of the word, claiming back the power of the word lazy, really lazy. Let the knees just fall side to side. Maybe pausing at one side, and then pausing at the other side. Anyone that's got that towel beneath them might want to press into the feet to lift the hips and just move the towel or the blanket away. And then continue a little more. If people like to bring their hands to their knees now and bring their knees into their chest, rock by all means. And just feel how what you do with those legs begins to bring a little bit more of an imprint back into the ground. So as you pull the knees in and you rock slowly, you might feel yourself articulating on that lower sacrum. Small little movement, or maybe it's big for you today. You do you. And then from there, guys, we need a rock and roll up and down along the spine. Or if you're not feeling very sprightly today, which is a-okay, just roll over onto your side and come and sit. Now, as always, if you're sitting cross-legged, one ankle in front of the other, your knees are up, you're feeling hunched, and it's very comfortable, grab a cushion or a couple of cushions or a couple of books and sit up on them a little bit. So lifting the hips a little bit just allows for that ease to come across the hip area. And it could be anatomy. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm just so stiff in my hips and I won't do that, it might not be your quote-unquote fault. Like anatomically, you might be moving a certain way. That's external rotation is just a bit hard. Bring your hand back to the side. Lift the chest like a proud pigeon, puffing the chest forward, rolling the shoulders back, and maybe turning the corners of your lips up towards your eyes. Whether you're watching this now or the majority of people that watch later on in the day, being proud that you made the time to get on your mat, to carve out time in your day for this really important practice that's going to affect all of the rest of the minutes and seconds and hours. Smiling big, lifting that heart. And we'll begin to sway. Right hand comes down, left hand sweeps up and over. So I love this. Heavy with the hips, light with the hands, as we sway side to side. Yeah, I can see a few tiny little squares in the corner of my screen. I can see people, it's like we're all waving to one another. A small little movement. Oh, the sunshine's coming out. Now what's important here, guys, is we're not just flailing them with reckless abandon. We're moving them slowly like they're moving through sticky honey. So go slower, some of you guys. And I want you to really press the hips down, feeling the weight of the pelvis really heavy down. So today, again, hips and hammies, and as well as a 360 body kind of visit. We want to stabilize, build a little strength in the area. So stabilizing the pelvis is an important midway point in the body. And energetically open it up then to allow all the energy to flow from the toes to the crown. Keep looking up, so like you're twisting a little leg, rotating, looking underneath the armpits. Pressing the hips down. When you lift up to, say, the right hand side, the left hip's going to want to lift. So that's when we push the left hip down. And then we'll perhaps do it a couple more times And we'll come to a little hold. So right hand down, left arm over, lift and peel. So maybe slide the left hand onto your left ribs and peel the left ribs back. So you're opening up here now. You bend the right elbow, and some of you guys might be really open and have the right elbow down. But if that left buttock is lifting, come back up. So press the left hip down, roll open the left rib cage, shining your left breast to the sky, and then reach up and over. Lengthening through the fingertips. You're feeling this side body opening the outer left hip. If it doesn't feel good in the neck, you can always look down. So never ever persevere through something that you're thinking is a bit suspicious, okay? Especially when I'm not near you. Pressing into the right hand, inhale all the way over to the other side. So then slide the right hand to the right rib cage and just use it just to encourage, and just a little bit of physicality here, just to encourage that energetic lift of the right chest, right rib cage, and then you can reach the arm over again. Bending that elbow towards you, that left elbow, maybe you come to the earth, and we keep pressing the right hip down, as if we're trying to pull ourselves into opposite directions. Right hip down, right fingertips. Looking up, peeling back the right shoulder, or looking down, but still peeling back the right shoulder. Really nice. And then coming all the way back up. And then lengthen out your legs and give them a little shake. So coming into a wide leg vinyasa. And guys, if you come into this and you're thinking, oh, my hamstrings and my calves are really tight and they won't let me have them straight, it doesn't matter, have a little bend to the knees. But let's switch on those feet, switching the toes back towards you in this dorsiflexion. And we just have a little stir. So you might walk the feet out nice and wide, or you might be closer together. It does not say anything about who you are, you're all wonderful. So just come to whatever point. But if you are sitting on the tailbone, we do want to compress and trap that energetic spot and nerve and cluster at the bottom of the tailbone. So just release the flesh from your buttocks and come up onto those sit bones, the heels of your pelvis. Taking a hold of your spoon, reaching out towards the right foot, reaching forward and back towards the left foot and back in. So anyone that hasn't done this before with me, I think of a huge pot and it's full of sticky substance, like sticky left on too long porridge, and I'm stirring through. So that means I can't go fast. I can explore reaching beyond my right foot and then reaching as far away from me as possible to my left foot, and then back in tall spine. Tall spine, inhale, exhale, takes it out again on that journey. You're feeling those legs, those hips. One more time, this direction. And then they come back to center and we'll go the other way. So reaching out towards the left foot all the way around. Slow it down. There's always a little like a skippy bit where you kind of want to skim through really fast. So they're the ones we should go slower through. Because normally that's where it's a little bit tight, a little bit uncomfortable. We want to get it done quick. 2 more here, reaching as far as you can, but keep your hips heavy. Lovely. Roll the shoulders back and down, hands either side. There's that little puffed pigeon again. Squeeze the shoulder blades, roll the shoulders back. Lovely. And then we'll bring your right hand to the inside of the right leg. Again, keep those legs switched on, the feet switched on. The right hand comes down, and again, left hand to your rib cage. And we're encouraging this opening. So it's really tempting, again, to have a goal. I will touch my right foot, but that is not a goal that we're looking for. What we're looking for is the winning in the process. So the right hand comes down, the left hand opens up that left chest, and we begin the process, which is the journey, which is reaching up with the left hand, looking underneath the left armpit, and then just really softly you'll begin to reach over. We're not turning down at all. We're keeping the focus, the chest, the heart, radiating to the sky. I don't know about you guys, but I can feel it on my left butt wants to lift up, so I press it down more. Come back to the breath here, inhaling softly, and then exhaling slowly. Drop your left shoulder down away from your ear. It's crawling up there. Perhaps the right hand is trickling towards the right foot a little more. Perhaps it's not, so just do whatever works for you. And then inhaling, coming all the way back up. Woo! Feeling the difference between both sides of the body. So always checking back in, cultivating that ability to pay attention and be aware. Left hand down, right hand up. And again, I like to bring my hand to my right rib cage, peel it back, encouraging, telling the body what I wanted to do. Stay looking up and radiating to the sky. And then as I reach up and over, pressing the right hip down. So you're lengthening through the right fingertips, but you're pulling the right shoulder back away from your ear. You're looking up with the head if it's okay in the neck, or down if it doesn't feel good. The right hip is pulling down to the earth, rooting. You're lengthening the opposite direction with the fingertips. Draw the toes back towards your face. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Really nice, guys. Keep encouraging the left ribs under, as if they're trying to come and have a look too. They're trying to sneak around. And then inhale, coming back to center. Ooh, one little stir, reaching around in one direction, and then the other direction. So we're opening now. We're starting to just lengthen here. Roll the shoulders back and down. So we bring the feet together, just a little Baddha-Konasana. Soles of the feet together, and just a little butterfly wing with the legs. So just letting those knees just flop out to the side, a little tiny pulse. Not pushing too hard. Excuse me. And then perhaps coming to some stillness, maybe walking the hips in towards the heel a little more. And then maybe you're using the elbows to draw the knees down a little more. Try not to concave too much. Try and keep the head pulling away from the hips to encourage a beautiful long line to the Shana, the beautiful energetic line of the back body. Just keep that lovely and long. Deeply breathing in. Exhale. Maybe activating your glutes, so squeezing your butt, okay? Really, really trying to squeeze and activate your glutes and see if that helps you send the knees down further. Deeply breathing in. Exhale. And then slowly release. Swing the legs right to the side, come on to all fours. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we'll have our wriggle. As I always say, we say in our mind's eye at the quietness at the start of class, how you doing? And we say in our squiggly wriggly to our bodies, how you doing? So now we're in our bodies, we're like, how you doing? I move my shoulders, elbows, move my hips back, stretch my fingers, wriggle my nose. Whatever it is that helps you really tune into this beautiful container of your spirit, this body. So wriggling around, rolling the hips. Anything that works. So I sometimes say I'm like channel Beyonce, or channel like a slippery eel in a river, or Nemo the fish, or a tree in the wind. Or my favorite is channel those really tall, weird things outside car garages that are filled with air, and they're kind of flopping and like flailing all over the place. But do it really slowly. Do whatever movement works for you, and be curious. Listen to the answers that come up from the body. How's your physical body feeling today? Is there anywhere sticky that needs to be treated with a little bit more compassion and tenderness? Wriggling around. Hopefully there's a little bit of sunshine perhaps touching you. And then we'll come into some cat-cow. We'll do it today with the fingertips turning back towards the knees, just to get a little extra bang for our buck, yeah? So knees underneath hips, fingertips back towards the knees. And I love how I'm just here laughing to myself. You see, in class I have actual humans, that sometimes throw me the odd bone of a giggle. But I just laugh at my own bad jokes now, and I pretend everyone's rolling around at home. So your fingertips are spread. Soften the belly. Now I like to have a tiny micro bend to my elbow because I'm a bit of a diddle, and I'll overbend those elbows any chance I get. So a little bend to the elbow helps you prevent from overlocking out the elbows. Inhale. Can you show the top of your mat forward in front of you, your heart space even more? Can you pull it through the gateway of the shoulders? Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lengthen the neck. Exhale, dome out, chin to chest. Press into the fingertips. Front of the feet pressing, navel drawn up towards your spine. Inhale, roll it forward. Shoulders rolling back and down, neck long. Exhale, curl it in. Beautiful. Keep going like this. Inhaling forward. Try and draw the shoulder blades, these temple doors down and together. And then exhale, feel the temple doors open as you push into the floor. And the temple doors, those shoulder blades are opening and spreading on your back. 3 more. Close your eyes. Feel this more than you think it. Hear your breath tied to the movement, inhaling forward and exhaling back. Really nice. Now, I want you to open your eyes and just start to step through the hands in all sorts of weird and wonderful ways. You're turning the palms up. Maybe you're turning the fingers inside, outside. You're loading weight on. Perhaps your face is kind of skirmishing and like, oh, it's a little bit sticky in certain ways. I want you to step through and bring you back, widening out, and testing the range of motion in those wrists this morning. Anything that feels good. Maybe even sitting back, interlocking the hands and wriggling the wrists if you need to. So anything that feels nice. I like to do my neck always as well and do those wrists. Okay, lovely. From here, guys, we're just going to come into a little bird dog. So hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. I just want you to activate the glutes, so strengthening them up. So we're just going to do one leg, keeping the hands on the ground. But try not to curl those fingers. Spread through the hands, knuckle pads pressing. Really important. This hatha bandha, this connection of the hand to the floor. Maintaining the awareness and the integrity of it, even when the rest of the body is kind of under a bit of strain. So pressing through those palms, not shifting too much over to the left. Just kick the right leg back. I want you pushing through the right heel. And I want you pretending that I'm standing there, really stubborn, and I'm pressing on your right heel, trying to push it forward. You're like, no moves. You're pushing back. At the same time, your navel is drawn in towards your spine. And your crown of your head is pulling to the top of the room. Now from here, you're pushing back. You can feel that strength. I now want you to rotate the right toes out to the side. Just a little bit. So you feel that external rotation. And you feel that right hip slightly opening to the right. And then from here, keep pushing the right heel back. And then again, I want you to feel like I'm pressing down on the top of your foot now. And I want you to just push up into tiny little pulses with all of that activity all the way up through to the right hip. Just keep that going here now. Yeah. You'll feel the activation, the strengthening, the switching on. And don't worry, there'll be lots of balance. For all the switching on, we lengthen out. For all the strengthening, we open, release. Keep those small little pulses, pushing the heel back, pushing the heel up as if there's a resistance there for 3, 2, and 1. And then bring the knee in and just do a couple of circles with that knee. Ooh, it should feel nice. You should feel alive in that right buttock. And then move in the opposite direction. Woo. Really nice. Then come on to all fours. I don't know about you guys, but it's subtle and powerful and I can bloody well feel it. So come back to all fours and we'll do the other side. So left foot kicks back. Both arms stay straight, the fingertips are engaged, knuckle pads are pressing. The toes, that left toes are pointing down to begin with, left and right hip level. Draw your navel in. So really feeling this hollow body as you pull the belly and the rib cage up towards the spine. Lovely. And then from here, guys, again, pushing the left heel back as the crown of the head reaches forward. So my asana, as you know, anyone that comes to my class, it doesn't have to be big and dramatic to be strong. So holding it here, drawing that navel in. And then we'll begin to open up that left toes towards the left-hand side, just a little, lifting the left hip up. And again, I'm pressing your left heel down, and I'm also trying to push your left heel forward, and you're resisting both. And then we'll pulse, lifting the left heel up, small little movements here. And I know you'll want to stop. What I always say is, your mind will give in more quicker than your body. That fight or flight response will kick in and say, no, this is wrong, your bum's on fire, put it down. Ignore that for a moment and try and always push through a little bit past your area of comfort. Let's go for another 5, 4, slow, small, as if there's that resistance there. 3, 2, 1, bend the knee and roll. In the opposite direction. Keeping those arms straight. Let's bring the knees wide, the big toes to touch. Stretch out those arms, forehead down. Those of you that can't get the forehead down with comfort, please stack your hands, stack your fists, and drop your hips. Deeply breathing in and slowly breathing out. So nice and soft and calm here, allowing the body just to calm, allow the heart rate to soften and ease. Slow down everything. Shifting forward, coming back to all fours. Take your time to get there, hands underneath shoulders. We're just going to wake up the arms next. You're like, oh no. We'll give your butt a little bit of a rest. And we'll just wake up the arms. So yoga is all about these harmonious and complementary dualities that work together. So the balance, equanimity in your practice. So we want to, yes, open up and lengthen and stretch, flexibility. You hear all these words with yoga, but we really want to strengthen as well, because there's no point in having flexibility in a body that doesn't have the strength to hold it safely. So hence why then we're going to do some little arm strengthening. So little yogi push-ups. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath the hips. This is really good for anyone practicing to get further into maybe a chaturanga in their practice and their vinyasa flows. So we shift forward. That's all we do, and we're going to shift back. And I just want you to feel that shifting forward. It's a really important movement, shifting the shoulders over the fingertips. I want you to see that the eye of your elbow, so the inner elbow, is pointing forward. So you get that external rotation all the way through to the shoulder. So you're shifting forward and back. And this means that when we shift forward and we bend the elbows, they're bending back towards the body. Now I just want you guys to come down halfway. So draw your belly button in and bring the shoulders down to level with the elbows. Push into the fingertips and the palms and lift back up. We're going to do 5. So it's not that the elbows are coming back beyond the wrists. The elbows stay over the wrists and we're just forward with the shoulders and back up. Woo, it's hard. I know a lot of you guys are like, what is this? So shoulders forward, inhale. Exhale, push it down. Inhale, hold. Exhale, push it back up. Beautiful. Inhale forward, shoulders with the shoulders going forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pause. Elbows tight to your back. Push back up, exhale. Beautiful. Keep it going now. Your own time. Shifting forward, lowering, pushing back up. Key to this, guys, is really think about the elbows staying hugging in towards your body. So you're really hugging those elbows in. Navel is drawn in. Fingertips are pressing. And keep going. Shoulders forward and down. Back up. And when you've finished, you can just again have a little moment turning on those palms, or maybe sitting back into rocking. Roll the shoulders and find yourself with the palms down, hips high, and slowly lift to your downward dog with the knees really deeply bent and have a little wriggle. So just working your way through some movement in your dog, any way that's going to honor your body today. So maybe it's being still, maybe it's swinging the hips, maybe it's just pedaling the legs. Wherever you are, you're pressing into the hands, really pushing, like you're trying to leave imprints of your paws on the ground, okay? You're trying to press into those hands so much and radiate energy up through those arms. And you're pushing then the chest towards your thighs. But careful, let that head relax. Relax your forehead and neck. Let it hang. Keep moving or be still, it's up to you. So we're strong in our arms and our legs and our butt. Let's bring it into a little flow. Right leg high to the sky. Chandra Namaskar, moving through a little moon salutation. Right foot steps forward, left knee comes down. Ensuring that left knee is back further back than the left hip, so you're getting that lovely lengthening in the front of the left hip. Pressing into the feet, reaching back today and up, like we're circling and gathering whatever we need. Inhale, lift. Drop your hips. Exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck your left toes and step to the top of your mat. Hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. So your feet are hips width distance apart, and you are pushing the shins away from you to bring the head far away from your hips as possible. And exhale, release. Still on the right side, right foot steps back. Right knee comes down, pressing into everything that's touching the floor. So that front left foot, the left shin is pressing down, the right shin is pressing down, the right foot is pressing down, and then we lift. With that energy rising. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step it back. So we spoke on Monday about our options. You can skip and just come to downward dog. You can come to your knees and again, do that little push-up, this time folding all the way to the floor. Lifting onto cobra, hands and chest lifting. Or you can move through your chaturanga. So from your plank, shifting forward, lowering down, and then lifting up to your upward facing dog. So whatever works for you. In your up dog, making sure those knees are off the ground. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. So from here on in, taking whatever works for you. I will be doing a little hybrid of one because I'll have to not squish my tummy in the ground anymore. So always just know that the options are there. Skipping it, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga, moving through any variation that works for you each day. And it might not be the same every day. Left leg high to the sky. With purpose, with slow intent, step the left foot to the top of the mat. Right knee comes down. Lift the hands as the feet press. Soften shoulders, open heart. Exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck the right toes, step it forward. Feet hips width distance, hands to shins. And inhale, push off to really bring that upside down L shape into as clear and defined an L as possible. Spine parallel to the earth. And then exhale, fold it down from the hip crease. Let it go. Left foot steps back. Left knee comes down and hands rise. Inhale. Slowly pressing to those feet. Exhale, hands to the floor. Stepping it back. And moving through your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin. Moving through your own variation. Or skipping it, guys. You might not have the vitality, you might not have the energy today. You just come straight back to downward dog or child's pose. From here, we'll step through that again. But if you're having a day where you're like, oh no, I don't want that today. I need a little moment. You just come down to child's pose. If you're in downward dog and you're coming through again, the right leg rises. And again, slow and steady. Step as far up the mat as you can. Left knee comes down, hands rise. Inhale. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Step it to the top of the mat. Inhale, grow that spine. Exhale, melt. Right foot steps back. Inhale. I'm encouraging a lot of these moon salutations into class at the moment because it is something that is easy to remember and can be done by yourself. So moving through your chaturanga of choice, whatever works for you. Left leg high to the sky. Left foot steps forward. Right knee comes down. And again, we rise. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step it forward. Inhale, find that length. Exhale, soften. Those of you in child's pose might like to interlock the hands and cup the back of your head in your child's pose. It's quite nice. Everyone else, we're still on left. Left foot steps back. Inhale, press into that front foot. Exhale, release. Step it back through your vinyasa, skip it. Downward dog or child's pose, so many options. Choose your own adventure. All leading back in child's pose. Gather your breath and realign your focus to the practice, the process, not the goals, not the shapes, not the end. Back to that being. A deep sense of awareness. So moving forward, we'll build that into a little sequence now, moving forward and back to the mat. So a little kind of half mandala. Just once, so don't worry, we're not going to be flowing into the small little step through from front to back. We'll use that lovely template of the moon salutation. So come up into your downward facing dog. Again, pressing into the hands and lifting the hips. So it's as if your arms and legs feel like they're growing longer. It should feel yummy. Draw the belly and ribs in though. Don't let that chest over flare. Keep that housing of strength. Right leg high. Right foot steps through. Left knee comes down. Inhale, hands rise. So if you feel wobbly, check your feet are wide enough apart. Press into the feet to feel that strength. Sink the hips forward, keeping the hips square to the front edge of your mat. Lovely. Right hand comes down to the ground if it can reach it, or to your right hip. And we'll reach up and over, just like the start class, looking up underneath the left armpit, lengthening the side of that left hip. Inhale here, exhale. Keep dropping the hips forward, don't be afraid. Pressing into that front big toe. And then drawing the left elbow down the front of the face. Hook the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Bring your palms together and twist. So I'm not going to twist too deeply for obvious reasons, but you guys can go for it. You can start to roll your navel like you're trying to point your belly button to the right hand side. I want you rolling the shoulders down away from your ears, lengthening through the crown of your head, and perhaps looking up. Your palms are pressing, your elbows are stacking in line with the wrists on each other. Deep breath in, exhale. For the last few breaths, tuck your left toes, lift your left knee off the ground. We're not staying long. And then pressing into the feet, release the left hand, sweep it up and back as the left heel lowers, warrior two. So it might take a little navigation. We won't all magically ballerina our way into it. So when you get there then, arms are reaching out. Sink into the front knee and really grow tall through the crown of your head. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Feel the arms moving away from one another. So if I feel as if the hands are pulling, sink into the front knee, press down into that front heel and pull it towards the back heel, switching on the hamstrings. Lovely. Last breath. Bring the hands to your hips, straighten the front leg, and we'll turn the toes and everything to the outside, long edge of our mat. Should feel nice. So you might want to walk the feet a little bit closer together. Toes will come out, heels will come in, hands to your hips, and we'll drop it down. So little goddess. So keep moving the knees out, pressing into the heels. And your hands can stay on your hips for a moment. Sometimes it's really nice just to let the hands go to the hips for a sec, just to drop the hips, to get your balance, maybe lean the shoulders back so they're over your hips. And yes, it feels strong. Lovely. Bring the arms out now, elbows level with your shoulders, palms open. It's a bit like a haka or something. You're trying to embody and invoke this power goddess within us all, male and female. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, inhale. Bring the elbows and palms back, and then exhale. Draw the elbows and palms together, press them. Inhale, open. Exhale, closing it. Inhale, open. Lovely. Exhale, close it in. Drop your hips. I know it's strong. Move your knees further away from one another. Inhale, open. Exhale, close it in. Drop your hands to your hips. Press into your feet and straighten up. Woo. Turn your toes in. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, hinging from the hips. Keep pulling the head away from the hips. Prasarita Padasana as we lower down slowly. Wide-legged forward fold. Hands can come down. And I want you guys just to lengthen the crown of the head here away from the hips. And that might mean that you're not curling down as deep as you can go, but you're encouraging that length through the spine. And we're folding with a beautiful flat spine, trying to encourage your collarbones to the ground. So not your head between your legs, your collarbones and that beautiful heart of yours, drawing it down to Mother Earth. The last few breaths, you might walk to fingertips back in line with your toes. Let the head go. Maybe start to encourage more weight into the balls of your feet whilst pressing into the outside of your feet and your heels. Feel those lovely strong glutes that we've already switched on. Feel them working for you now. High on your fingertips, inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, turn the left toes to the back of the mat, turn it around. Pivot onto the ball of the right foot and inhale, rise, crescent lunge. So lifting up into your crescent, encouraging that right hip to energetically move forward as you sink both hips together in unison. Back leg strong. Inhale here. Exhale, sweeping slowly to the earth. And you step up back through vinyasa if you like. Knees chest chin, chaturanga, or child's pose for a breath. And we'll all eventually meet in downward dog. Deeply breathing in. Everyone moving through vinyasas is moving nice and slow. Keep the breath calm. Keep your movements mindful, aware, intentional. Left leg high to the sky. Left foot steps through, coming back into the Anjanasana. Right, front of the right foot pressing down. Hold that left foot and left big toe pressing down. And inhale, we rise. So again, keep encouraging that right hip forward. It's going to want to draw back. And lovely. Then from here, dropping the left hand down, reaching or bringing the left hand to your hip and reaching the right hand up and over, looking up. Rolling back, trying to shine your right chest to the sky. Inhale here. And exhale, right elbow finds the outside of the left knee. Palms come together and you twist. So you're really pressing those palms. You're stacking the elbows. So your elbow, heel of the hand, and elbow are in line. And you're using that to twist. You're using the connection of the right elbow to the left knee or outer thigh. But don't let that left knee sink in. Press the left knee out to meet that energy and twist. Deep breath in. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee up. And then sweeping the right hand up, release it. Right heel lowers, warrior two. So Virabhadrasana 2, sinking into the front knee, checking your heels are aligned. Fingertips escaping in opposite directions. Holding. So power in the static hold. Sinking down. Keep encouraging the bottom of your spine towards the ground. So I don't like to say just tuck your tailbone. I want you to feel length through the spine. So feel the bottom of the spine pulling down, feel the crown of the head pulling up, and then pull your belly button in, and you'll feel that little tilt, little posterior tilt of the pelvis. Deeply breathing in. Exhale. Or as I usually say, just get a bit Elvis with your pelvis. Yeah, see, it still works. Last breath, you're like, stop telling jokes, we're holding this too long. Breathe, notice frustration, focus on the end goal of getting out of this, and just be. Enjoy the process. Hands to your hips, straighten the front leg and turn the toes in. Woo! Okay, so you might have built up a little frustration towards me, towards the static holds, towards your sticky hips. So release it all out. Bring the heels in, toes out, back to your goddess. So I love doing this. My neighbors must love me as well. And anyone that's in your house might get a fright, but it doesn't really matter. I want you to just let the air release. Let any frustration and bloody hell, there's a lot of frustration in the last few weeks and months. I want you to purge it out now with the breath, with some noise, with some movement. So the hands come up in front of you, gathering whatever is frustrating you today. Holding on to it with the hands. Drop your hips, knees moving apart, heels pressing down. Inhale here. Exhale, hands come to hips, and we exhale out through the mouth. So noise. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Drop your hips. Inhale. 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 Close your eyes. Feel it. 3 more. A little louder. 1 more for a lock. Drop your hips. Hands to your hips, straighten the legs. Bring your left hand to your heart, right hand to your belly. And just be here with your eyes closed. Slow your breath. Opening up the eyes. Sweep the hands down to the ground. Bend your knees. Gather what new seeds you want to grow. Sweep out to come up. Gather it in. Pour it home. And then we pivot, turning onto the ball of the left foot, turning the right toes forward, and maybe walking the right foot to the side. Crescent lunge, hands at your heart. Lovely, sinking down now, strong that back leg, back of the left knee lifting up, pushing forward onto the balls of that left foot. Inhale here, exhale. Inhale, reach up like that lotus flower blooming. Exhale, hands to the floor, step it back through your vinyasa, or with me, skipping it, child's pose. So taking your vinyasa slow, not trying to reach towards the end of it. Enjoy every millimeter of movement. Those of us in child's pose, maybe interlocking the hands, cupping the back of your head. Maybe elbows coming wider and just noticing how beautiful that is to bring a little additional pressure to the forehead and the ground, whilst also massaging that energetic point at the back of the head, the fourth eye. Slow down your breaths. Relax your belly and your heart towards the earth. And feel as if it's pooling all that beautiful energy you've cultivated, all those fresh seeds that you planted in between those thighs, in between those knees. And they're radiating back up towards you. This pooling of energy. 2 more breaths here. And then slowly, slowly walk the hands back up towards you, keeping those knees and legs as they are, palms facing up, and sit. Take a moment to recalibrate back to the shape, to the head, lifted above the heart. And we'll just finish just with a few little extra sways. I love the fluidity of movement in practice. It's so good both on an anatomical level for your fascia. It really helps open up the tight webbing, this fluid movement, any fluid movement, but also given the fact that our practice is trying to teach us that within the structures of life to be fluid like a river and to be able to navigate and be in that process of flowing no matter what sticky things and obstacles and blockages that the life around us will put there for us. So your right hand comes down, maybe onto some books. I was saying this the other day, if it feels like it's too hard, but also you don't have to lift up the hips as high as I will. Left hand reaches out as if you're showing off something beautiful, a fresh juice that you're going to have after class. You're reaching out the left hand and then it sweeps around. Right hand pushes, hips lift, and you sweep, open your heart to the sky. Exhale, sweep it back down the same way it came up. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, sweeping it down. So pushing those hips forward, pressing into the front of the feet and shins. Lifting the heart space. Exhale, release. Left hand down, right hand sweeps. Exhale, maybe close your eyes. Feel this. Opening the chest as much as you want, sweeping the arm back as much as you want. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Again, palms on your thighs. Turn the hands up. Drop your shoulders and elbows. And just breathe. From here, see if you can play with your necessity to, or your need to have your eyes open and the external world And with your eyes closed, just bring your knees together. Slinky onto your left butt and swing your legs around, going to line your back. It might be quite nice to have the knees in, rocking from side to side. Some of you might want to take a happy baby or just roll the knees. Some of you might be quite happy with the feet on the ground, your hands on your belly. Allowing the natural solid earth to realign that spine. Dropping it down as if the bones in the body are getting heavier. Let them be taken by the gravitational pull. From there, we do the last sway of your knees. Anything that your body is just itching for, give it what it wants. And then lengthen out the legs. Bring the feet a little bit wider and let the toes flop out to the side. Reaching your fingers as if they're trying to reach towards your toes along the ground, and then lift your chest and just draw your shoulder blades towards one another. So you're tucking them away, expanding, opening, broadening the heart space and collarbones. And then let everything again be taken towards the earth. Feel yourself falling back, dropping back, melting back. Feel your breath ever so slowly and softly. This natural music, prana, whispering as it brings life into the body. Your eyes are closed. Your eyeballs are so heavy that they're dropping back, the back of the head. Notice how you feel. Make your next breath a little deeper. Open the mouth and exhale. Decide if you want to stay here, if it feels good and you've got time. Maybe you just gently close down your laptop screen or turn off your phone. And those of you that have to arise and enter back into this world with me, and slowly roll onto your left-hand side, curling in towards your heart. Curl your knees in and just rest for a moment. And pressing into your hands with your eyes still closed, slowly rise up. Find a seated position, the tall spine, and bring your hands together, palm against palm. Roll your shoulders back. A proud pigeon, puffing that chest up, as if the chest is reaching forward to come towards those thumbs. Bring the thumbs to meet it and press into your heart space. Drawing down how we are and how we operate down from the mind, more into the heart space, into the gut, more into the rest of our whole being, not as reactive maybe and firing an autopilot, quick to fire. After this beautiful practice that brings us home, down out of that thinking mind, into that deeper sense of being. Humans being. Drop your chin to your chest, bowing down to all of the beautiful energy swirling through the interwebs, through all of this beautiful community that meets and flows, connects, and feels better for it, I hope. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis. The sun was in and out. It was gorgeous. I could see hands in the corner of the screens moving, and it was just beautiful. So thank you so much, guys. And just maybe today, catch yourself if you notice, rushing towards the end of the day, towards the end, or rushing towards maybe the weekend, and just try and do something really nice that's really tasty. Maybe it's just even sitting down with a piece of chocolate and saying, no, I'm actually just going to pause here. Or maybe it's just walking outside and having a second in the fresh air, something that's just going to bring you back into the present moment, to remind you to kind of do that more often and to create a new habit. Thank you very much, guys. Loads of love. Mwah. Have a gorgeous day.